Hi everybody, and welcome back. I feel like we're not going to play a game today. I feel like I've played enough horror games to actually create a game. So we're using Blender for the 3D modeling. We're going to use Substance Painter for the materials, and I'm going to use Unreal Engine or Unity for the game engine. So what I was thinking, I'm just going to get rid of that camera, is like a maze game kind of thing. How does that sound? I think it sounds like a super. If you want to make the game, just download Blender and you can follow along. We've got the screencast keys on. We're going to hit N because we want that. We want items. We've got 2 meters by 2 meters. Do we keep it as 2 meters by 2 meters? I don't know. Yeah, we will. Okay, so we've got 2 meter by 2 meter square. This is going to be the floor. What we can do is turn on snapping and snap to edge, Shift D on the X, and then we can just G on the X. There we go. So it's going to be kind of like a maze game. What we want to do is Shift D, rotate on the X, and we want to go at 90, and these are going to be the walls. Again, we're going to keep them as 200 by 200. G on the Z. Let's just snap it there. And we're going to Shift D, G on the Y, X, even. We'll go on the X, G on the X, let's just snap it to that. And then what we can do is just select these, Shift D on the Y, and snap it there. So there we have this is how it's going to go, kind of thing. And then we will need one with a door in it. So a door, let's just Shift D on the Y. Okay, let's just turn snapping off. And then we will do a couple of cuts. Let's go into edit. Control R, we'll do a couple of loop cuts there. And so that's 2 meters. We will scale those on the X just to make it a bit wider. There we go. And then with 2 meters, so we can just do a loop cut in here and just bring that up to about there, and that's going to be our doorway. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe the first level we'll just keep easy. We'll just lull people, the players, into a false sense of security, thinking that it's gonna be a nice, easy game, when in reality it's not. So these ones, so we'll have like doors and that, but you won't be able to go into the rooms or anything like that. So it's just going to be like a maze. First level maybe it's just going to be a maze. Keep it nice and simple, not scary. And they'll be like, oh, this is like a rubbish game. So that's what we're going to do. And we need to just Shift D on the X again, and then just bring it. Oh, I need to switch that on again. And just bring it on in there. And then this one, we're gonna bring it on in, and bring it into there and to there. So that's our doorway. I'm just going to switch on cavity with both, just so we can see everything. And we just need to make sure our faces are the right way around, which these aren't. So these are around the wrong way. So blue is the right way around. So if we was in here, if you don't know Blender, blue is facing you, red will be invisible in the game engine. So what we just need to do is select that, go into edit, Alt N and flip, and then the same here, edit, Alt N, flip, and the same on this one, go to edit, Alt N, flip. So now all these faces, except for these ones, so let's just select these. That one down there, otherwise there'll be an invisible bit, and then Alt N and flip, and then just get these inner edges here. Do the same, Alt N and flip, boom, there we go. So all these faces will be facing us. So we'll try and keep the poly count low as much as possible, and yeah, so we won't be able to go into these doorways, won't be able to go into these doors. There will be no rooms, not on the first level. So let's just switch that off, face orientation, and then Shift D on the X, and then basically all we need to do is just create your maze really. Shift D on the X, let's just line that up there, and then this one we want to Shift D on the Y, and then we're just going to bring it across here, and then RZ 180, and that's facing inwards, and we'll just have it staggered, so we'll have that here, and then we'll have one of these Shift D on the X, I think it was, there we go. So, and then these ones we can just Shift D on the Z, and then we will need to turn that on again. Face orientation, because we know Alt N flip. Boom, ready, boom. So we know now that all the faces will be facing us from here on in. So this will be like our spooky hallway. So that's where we are at the moment, and we're just going to smash out a maze, I think, some form of Shift D on the X. Some form of maze, and then we also want to do D on the X, so we're just going to there, so this is going to be an edge, and then we just want to Shift D on the Y now, G on the Y, and just bring that on over. So by having it equal sides, that was our 2 meters by 2 meters, it just makes everything easy. Corners, I mean here, Shift D on the Y, and then we can G on the Y, and then here we can maybe split off, Shift D on the X, GX there, maybe we could split this one off down, carrying on. Maybe we could have this one go into a dead end, so off to a Y, G on that Y, just so it snaps into place. So you see how we're working this out. So this one will Shift D on the X, we'll rotate on the Z 90, rotate on the Z 180, so it's facing us. So maybe this is the room that we've just come out of, if you see what I mean. So we could start here, like this. Obviously we could chuck some light in there, if I can find the light. There we go, just chuck that in there. Let's just turn that off. And then inside, so you can see inside there. We could just turn that down. Let's just turn the power down to say 100 or 10. Just so it's enough light to get moving and see where we are. But we could have these going down the hallways, etc. Okay, so let's just shift D on the X. Let's turn that back on. And this one here, let's just create our dead end. Shift D on the Y. G, Y. Shift D, G, X. So this one's going to be the dead end to begin with. Shift D on the X. Let's just take it down there. As I say, we don't want to, we can make it easy, but we don't want to make it too easy. So it's almost like coming back on yourself on this one. Shift D on the X. G, X. And then maybe in here, so it's not so apparent. As soon as you come around that corner, you're not just going to see the dead end. And then we can just bring that across there. Oh. G on the Y. So that's where the dead end will be. So we'll just come walking down there, round, and oh no, it's a dead end, so we have to go all the way back again. And up here, Shift D on the X. Shift D on the X. And here maybe we can, maybe we could do a double split there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to carry on with this, but I'm going to speed up the video and we'll see what happens, what occurs. See you in a bit. Okay, so as I say, it's only going to be a short maze on this one. So I'm going to start off here, and this is going to be where the end is. So it'll be like maybe a stairwell or a lift. So the first level is going to be relatively simple. So I'm just going to carry on putting the walls in like we've been doing with the floor. So Shift D on the X like that. I'm just going to carry on building the walls in. Shift D on the X. I'm just going to bring this one in to here, and then we're just going to snap it in there. So there's going to be a door there anyway. Let's just make sure everything is good. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on with this. And then in our next video, all this will be built. And then we're going to make a few assets for the game, like tables, sofas, all the good stuff. So we'll go through all that, and then we'll take it into the game engine and have a look at what we've got. So I'm going to carry on with this, and I'll see you on the next video. So we'll see you next time. Ta-da.